Hey everyone, I'm Dylan. I'm going to be discussing some my experience and the takeaways of principles of organizational communication this semester. Um, First and foremost, I think the thing that I've learned from doing this final project is what I expected the class to be versus what the class actually turned out to be for me. It was kind of an interesting gradient. First and foremost, I think the last year or two of my life, I've really thought a lot about the way I communicate with other people, the way I communicate at work, um, in relationships, you name it, everything. So I kind of thought initially that this was going to be a way for me to be a better communicator with other people. And really, I think it made me a better communicator with myself. So, more of an external communicator was more of an internal communication class for me. Um, in my workplace, everyday social interactions super important as of every workplace. I mean, coworkers, superiors, mutual aid partners, patients, reporting parties, sometimes even the media. The media is a little bit above my pay grade, but that's besides the point. Um, I really thought that taking this class was going to just be one of those things where I'm better at communicating with everyone else, but really it was more of a how I communicate with myself thing. So digging right into the things that I learned, week two, can your brain impact the way you communicate? We did the SCARF self-assessment. I'm sure all you guys remember survey, knocking out answers. I was doing exactly what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I was answering the survey questions as I was expecting them to be answered. But what I wasn't really doing was saying, how would I truly answer them? So there's a difference between thinking, okay, this is how the whoever's running the survey, this is how me from an external position would want me to answer these. But I had to kind of step back and say, what do I truly think about these? And that was the first sort of, I guess, reflection on how difficult this course was going to be for me to actually ask myself the hard questions. So after my second time through the self-assessment, I was given status as my dominant domain. And that kind of bugged me a little bit because I think that the idea behind status was a little bit abrasive to me and maybe even annoying. I didn't really want to be that guy. I know I've been competitive my whole life. I know I have to be challenged in order to be successful and all that kind of stuff. But I think status has rubbed me the wrong way. So it was really important for me to kind of take an objective look at that, step back, answer the questions effectively, and then figure out where I was going from there. So the second thing that I learned and took out of this kind of seems to be everyone's favorite topic, mindfulness. Mindfulness, one of those things that shouldn't be that hard to be mindful, right? Well, for me, it was really hard. I struggle a lot with mindfulness. In the 60-minute interview with John Kabat-Zinn, he discussed waking up in the morning, taking a few minutes, reflecting on yesterday, reflecting on today, just being present. And so I tried it for a few mornings, and it caused me physical pain. It was really, really hard for me to just chill out for 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the morning, whatever. I'm one of those guys. I'm always up. I want to be the first one out the door, going to the gym, getting my gear together, getting my errands done, whatever it may be. I feel like the morning is one of those times I'm like, go, 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 go. So that was really hard for me to take a few steps back and realize that all these traits of mine that I've always seen as virtues are actually destructive. Long run, what did I get out of that? Out of being a few minutes faster in the morning, being, early to work, 15 minutes or something like that? Nothing really. I got less sleep. I was more stressed and ultimately less productive. So that was a really difficult module for me to go through, as I know I've always had a hard time caging monkey mind. And I've been working on it. I'm certainly not the most mindful person yet, but I am working on it. Next up, week 7. What drives motivation, achievement, and success? Another really interesting module for me. The one big takeaway I got out of this was how lucky I am to work with the people that I work with, because I think the environment I'm in, they're always pushing me to be more successful, to achieve more, to be more motivated. And all that stuff is really a benefit to me, whereas I can see if I was in a different environment, it might not be that simple. It might be people who saying, why are you going back to school? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Another part of that module I found really interesting was a question of whether or not focusing on results undermines success. In my line of work, it's a really interesting question. I can think of a couple different ideas. First of which being guys who drill all the time, same drill, do stuff inside of a very controlled environment, inside of a box, and they're so used to doing that that when it's an uncontrolled environment, they crumble. In the fire service, we call them robots. So that's one of those things where I think the training, the act of actually the means undermines the end. However, on the other hand, we think about CPR stats, new science on successful CPR and CPR techniques have increased the national average from somewhere around 3 or 4% to somewhere in the neighborhood of 21 to 24%. So there actually is some situations where results do actually build on success. So that was kind of like everything else in the course. It really just depends. It's situational, and it depends on your situation and what you're doing. To close, I mean, this class was absolutely nothing like I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be just kind of a set and dry. I'm going to learn how to communicate with other people. Leslie really did ask us some hard questions. At least for me, it took a lot for me to dig in, really internalize, be honest with myself, and say, hey, this is how I feel about this, as opposed to just pumping out an answer. That was the easy thing to do. So I think that was really beneficial for me, especially at this point in my life, because it made me ask myself some hard questions, reflect in an objective and a subjective manner. So I really enjoyed this class. I hope everyone else did. Hope you have a great winter break and next semester. Take care. Bye.